Mom's never played ball, Richard.
The AM this morning, 14.1 north, 37.0 west. It is a good ways from the Lesser Antilles, the islands here, about 1,550 miles east. It is pushing to the west-northwest at 20 miles per hour, and that motion is expected to continue, along with some strengthening. You can see it here, the African coast, the Cape Verde Islands, and then here we go, the tropical depression pushing on toward the west, likely to become a tropical storm in the next 12 to 24 hours. We have Bonnie, the tropical depression, farther on toward the east, and a tropical wave we've been watching here push across the Caribbean Sea. Right now it's not showing any signs of organization, but the potential is still there as it pushes on toward the west and gets away from some of the northerly flow, the outflow from Hurricane Bonnie. The Gulf of Mexico, by the way, pretty much clear of
rock. Well, our front is going to wreak some havoc. More potential storms in the Midwest and the Northeast as Bonnie slowly edges its way toward the Atlantic coastline. More on the tropical update coming up at 50 after. But the hot weather stays in place from the middle Atlantic coast into parts of Texas, whereas West Texas, possibly 5 more inches of rain as we're looking at some heavy rain and some heavy wind in the upper Midwest. That hot weather, though, is there to stay in the middle of the nation. Temperatures close to 100 in places. Well, travelers could be in for a treacherous trip in Texas and parts of the Midwest and Northeast. We'll pinpoint the trouble spots on TravelWise after your local forecast.
This program was sponsored by the Carpet and Rug Institute.
Can't wait until the furniture comes.
Me too. Can I have the remote?
I am so glad the furniture came.
Me too. Can I have the remote?
It's soft, it's warm, it's the best seat in the house. New carpet, it just feels better.
Dogs have an uncanny sense of hearing, but they can't tell you if running, climbing, or even walking hurts or makes them stiff. So it's up to you. To help keep your dog active and healthy, ask your veterinarian how Rimadyl has relieved arthritis pain for more than 500,000 dogs.
How did you get?
As with other pain relievers in this class, digestive and liver side effects may occur, available by prescription only.
A virtual no-show for family dinners. But on Ortega night, zap, he's here. Nobody wants to miss tacos with crispy Ortega taco shells. Now that's a megabyte. Ortega, it's the family recipe.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Part of every day, part of every way you shine.
It's your time to shine.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Severe weather continues to head towards Chicago. We also have some flooding, significant flooding in Texas, and the tropics are very active. Let's start with the tropical update. We'll cover it all here in this edition of Storm Watch. Hurricane Bonnie, here's the 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time position, 26.2 north and 72.7 west. That's centered about 650 miles to the south-southeast of Wilmington, North Carolina, which is right up here. A little less than 500 miles to the east of Miami, Florida, though it now is heading north of the latitude that Miami is, and that's good news for you folks there in South Florida. Highest winds still 115 miles per hour, moving to the northwest at 5 miles per hour, which still is slow, but it's a little more significant than what we've seen with the stationary lack of direction for the last 24 hours or so. Pressure at 963 millibars. Now, warnings continue. Hurricane warnings continue for the central Bahamas here, the areas in red. The areas in orange, that's where hurricane watches are in effect. And later today, if that motion to the northwest continues, some watches could be posted later this evening or tomorrow for parts of the southeastern coast, again, depending upon the movement of Hurricane Bonnie. Even though it's not close to the coast right now, it is a large hurricane, diameter very significant, and it's sending out a lot of swells. As those reach the coast, we are having problems with high surf, so heavy surf advisories have been posted from Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, all the way down through Jupiter Inlet, Florida. Let's show you what the hurricane looks like right now, and you can see the spinning here. Most of the bigger thunderstorms are on the east and north side of the eye itself, though the eye is very hard to see on the satellite picture. Here are the Bahamas, and you can see the main effect, just a few clouds, but we have wind and those waves coming into the Bahamas from the center of the hurricane out here. We'll show you the infrared, and it shows us a little bit better what's going on. The coast of Florida, looking on toward the east, and as it spins around, you can see the color turning more red. That indicates those are the highest cloud tops. And also notice the outflow, a little bit better established on the western side where the center is here. The western side yesterday was a little diminished on the outflow side, and what that means for us is to continue to watch it. It could get a little bit stronger, though right now it's not forecast to deepen significantly. The key here is it is a major hurricane, a Category 3 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. That northwestward motion, as expected, has started, and we expect that to continue. So again, interest along the southeast coast. Still, you want to pay very close attention to what happens with Hurricane Bonnie. Farther on toward the east, we have Tropical Depression number 4, upgraded from a tropical wave to a depression at 11:30 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time. 14.1 north, 37.0 west. That's centered about 1,500 miles east of the Lesser Antilles. It is pushing to the west-northwest at 20, and that motion is expected to continue. Again, here it is, the islands looking off to the east, and you can see it spinning quite nicely, so it's likely getting better organized, and it could become a tropical storm a little bit later today. If not, then certainly tomorrow. Farther on toward the east, we look toward the coast of Africa, and you can see our tropical depression pushing on toward the west. Otherwise, it's kind of quiet, though here comes another wave that'll be heading off the coast here shortly. The Gulf of Mexico looking great, the Caribbean. Here's Bonnie, by the way. And here's a tropical wave we've been watching. It's a strong tropical wave pushing to the west. The environment likely to become a little bit better for it to develop here as we head into the western Caribbean Sea. So we will watch it certainly over the next day or two. And Hurricane Howard continues to push away from the west coast. Highest winds at 115. That motion to the west-northwest is expected to continue, and the hurricane should weaken somewhat over the next couple of days. There it is. Here's the Cabo San Lucas area and the coast of Mexico, so it's pushing away from the coast. In the meantime, a couple of active areas in the U.S. Active thunderstorms here in the northeast and heavy rain as we head down to the south. Currently, there are severe thunderstorm watches in effect for the areas in yellow, and you can see strong thunderstorms pushing southeast, weakening somewhat as they head toward the city. However, as we head west, still some strong thunderstorms from Cleveland down through Pittsburgh. In the Great Lakes, look at this, big line of thunderstorms heading toward Chicago. You are in a severe thunderstorm warning right now, Cook County, DuPage County. As these thunderstorms race to the east, they could produce some severe weather, lots of wind in the Chicago area. While farther on toward the south, flash flooding continues in parts of Texas. The radar shows that continuing.
Hurricane Bonnie has residents along the Atlantic coast bracing for the worst. Where is it headed and when could it make landfall? Be prepared. Watch Weather Center next.
Has the Do Not Disturb mattress.
Katie?
Simmons, bringing you better sleep through science.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Temperatures are just right. Yay! Our future looks bright indeed, for this refrigerator actually keeps food fresh.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
hurricane. At 26.3 north, 72.9 west, that's centered about 640 miles south-southeast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, located right here. Highest winds continue 115 miles per hour, and that is good news. It hasn't strengthened. However, 115 miles per hour is still a major hurricane. As I mentioned, that movement to the northwest at 6, and the barometric pressure hasn't changed all that much today. However, as the motion has started back up to the northwest, watches have been posted, and this is where we see hurricane watches in effect currently from Savannah, Georgia, right on up through the North Carolina-Virginia border. What does this mean? Well, it means that hurricane conditions could be seen within 36 hours, and as the hurricane gets closer to the coast, some of these watches could be changed to hurricane warnings. However, what this means is you shouldn't panic. It means you should just be prepared for hurricane conditions. Think about what you're going to do, get supplies, go to the store, get some water, batteries and such, and then be prepared in case a watch is issued for your area. In the Bahamas, the hurricane warnings and the hurricane watches have been lifted, and now we simply have tropical storm watches for the northwestern and central Bahamas. As the hurricane continues to cover a large area, it's produced a lot of swells, those swells reaching the coast and causing significant surf. High surf advisories continue in effect from the Jupiter Inlet area of Florida right on up through Cape Hatteras. Let's show you what's going on with the hurricane itself. Here's the coast of Florida, the Bahamas. Looking to the east, the hurricane center right here. But remember, the strongest winds are right around the center. However, hurricanes can extend